Hey, welcome everyone. It's Kevin Ducey again with Whiteboard, and we're here for another Top Producer Spotlight. I'm so lucky to be joined by my friend and customer, Stephanie Johnston. Stephanie, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for joining me. Stephanie, you've got a pretty unique story about how you started in the business, and I think it's led to some of your success. Would you mind telling our audience today a little bit about how you got started in the business?
Absolutely. So again, Stephanie Johnston with Service First Mortgage, and I started in a different direction than most people do when they get in the industry. I started at a call center back in 2006, right before the crash, and lived through that and stayed at a call center for about 7 years and at a bank, and then came over to this side of the world. I call it the real world of mortgage. Sorry to those who still work at call centers. So came over here in 2013, and best decision ever, and moved over to Service First, been there ever since, and learned this side of things. So really started my complete career over 6 years ago now.
Nice. And so you said you started 13 years ago, so it's nice to know that you started in this industry when you were 14. Hopefully you didn't break any labor laws there. Now, Stephanie, you were recently featured on Dave Savage Mortgage Coach page on Facebook, and it's really excited when we see our customers being in the spotlight, if you will, like we're doing today. And one of the things that he was highlighting is you hit 200 loans about a month or so ago. Tell me what 2019 is going to look like for you as a total production year, and what the future holds for you.
Okay, a couple months ago was right, not one, but anyway. No, we had to throw that in there. So we'll end up serving about 250 families this year. So it's exciting for us, about 70 million. So that's an exciting goal, and we will one day. I have to keep saying it so that we'll get there. We're going to be at 100 million. Just give us some time, and excited to be able to be fortunate enough to help that many families.
That's awesome. You know, that's one of the things I hear from my customers that are those top producers that are doing that type of volume and revenue, is they always talk about helping families, and to understand what you're doing first and foremost is you're helping somebody move into a home and through one of the biggest financial decisions that they'll ever make. Most folks, the biggest financial decision they'll ever make. That being said, what do you think, you've only been in what you call the real world for 6 years now. So that's a pretty fast rise to doing over 200 loans, doing close to 75 million. What do you do, would you say, is differently, or what do you do better, or what's making you successful? What are you doing, Stephanie?
Okay, I think there's a kind of two main things that are going to play into this in terms of the success and how we're able to best assist our clients is, A, we are very systematic and we have a plan, and I call it our perfect mortgage loan. So if you could do a loan one time, I tell everyone that other loan officers we're coaching, what would that look like? So, from name and phone number all the way up to post-closing, what would you do? So we take that and we replicate that over and over and over again. Well, one of the things that Whiteboard has been able to do for us is be able to take that system and that perfect loan and repeat it. Without a good CRM, that's physically impossible. So anyone trying, please don't try. Please use a CRM day one, getting into the industry, and a good one like Whiteboard. And so we think about each piece to the transaction. So that's from just name and phone number to when a client gets qualified, or maybe if they're longer term, then from qualification till they get under contract, during the loan process, and then we call from closing till forever. We never stop using our client in terms of never stop marketing to them and assisting them. It's probably the better word for that. And always have a plan. That's part one of it. I don't know if you interject anything on that. And then probably the other part to that's going to allow us to keep our customer service levels, and again, having that perfect process for everyone, no matter how many families we do help. The other part to probably how we even got to that point of helping that many families is I like to say that I'm a very creative loan officer. I do tell people that if I can't do their loan, probably no one else can. I usually can figure out puzzle loan together very well, whether it's easy things to hard stuff. We have a great product mix. And if there's ever something that we can't do, I'm going to tell them that. So that really has our clients take our qualification letters to the bank and say that if we've issued it, we are going to close. And if we've said we couldn't do it, we're going to give them the tools, and they're going to be able to buy hopefully in the future. a real
Right.
long-winded answer there.
No, I think it's what people need to hear. You know, I think the folks who do tune into these interviews are looking to gain some knowledge and figure out a way to better serve their business. And it's not always about the CRM. I do appreciate you chiming in about what we've done for you, what Whiteboard does for you. One of the things that if you come on board with us probably in the last 6 to 12 months is you've heard us talk about our customer in Texas who has a long-term lead campaign that's driving about 10% of their business. That is you. Can you tell us a little bit about how that's working?
So it was interesting. I actually didn't realize it, and we pulled up the stats. So I think a lot of the times, the loan officer, I called the sticky note problem. Please don't have this. Please do not. They take a name and phone number, they put it in their phone, they call once or twice, and that's it. No, that just doesn't work. Different people are in different cycles. So someone might be 6 months out, and you're meeting them now. They could be, in a week, and you've got to have a home for those. So on our longer term campaign stuff, most loan officers have given up. So even if they've talked to 5 people up front, we're usually the last man standing at the end. And we pulled our production for 2019, and 10% of our business came from people that we had qualified for more than 6 months. So they've been in there more than 6 months, and it's 10% of our business. Math, I mean, that's, over $7 million in business from those PQ'd people.
Yeah, I remember when I first heard about it, it made complete sense to me. My wife and I are actively looking at homes. We started probably in September, right a couple of weeks after my daughter started kindergarten, because we want to do a very slow, thorough process of going through this. And so I was thinking about, if we stumbled onto a website and got funneled into your system, or somehow got reached out to in October, November, we would hear you guys out. But what kind of efforts are we going to put into it? Probably not a lot, because we're still looking for that right home, the right neighborhood, the right school districts, all that stuff. And we're really probably going to get hot and heavy in May or June. And I would go with the person who kept following up with me, the person who sent me a happy birthday notification, the person who kept saying, hey, whenever you're ready, let's talk. And you do that through our automated campaigns. I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you for sharing that. It's pretty cool. So.
Absolutely. And I think that's where a lot of the stuff that we've been able to do through Whiteboard has been, it's an easy system. So number one, guys, that if a lot of people get overwhelmed with CRMs and think there's no way I can do this, it's easy. You can pivot and change things very quickly and add campaigns and change stuff down the path. And a lot of the stuff that we do send out that kind of goes with our overall mentality is educational stuff. So we aren't the use me, sell, loan officers. We try to think of every common question that a consumer has, anything that could come up during the process, and say, here's info over and over and over again through video, through text, through emails, out through that during those different cycles. So that could be someone that's not yet qualified or someone that is qualified. And we use Whiteboard as a tool to get that information to them. So it's more the educational help, and can continue to send that out. And then we've written, yes, I'm crazy, but we wrote every single email that came out of Whiteboard. You don't have to do that, but we did. So it's really cool that it's all customized and it sounds like me. And it's, again, we're here to help, process. So
that's awesome to hear. You guys in your industry, you guys get such great joy about putting a family in a home. I get such great joy hearing about how our system helps you close loans and makes your lives easier. So thank you for sharing that with me today. Stephanie, really appreciate your time. To the rest of the Whiteboard world out there, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you soon.